Hello everyone. So here we are once again at your service. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Amir Poonawala. I am a licensed immigration advisor for New Zealand and migration agent for Australia here at G.E.M.S International. Our office is based in Auckland City of New Zealand. Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Push the bell icon so you can get regular updates on various immigration related issues and how to apply for different visas. Thank you. Please do read our legal disclaimer provided in the comment section before watching this video. Thank you. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about another type of visa, and that is the transit visa. And many a times people take transit visas very lightly because they think somehow they have this feeling that, oh, it's a transit visa, so we will get it easily. And many a times it happens that even people are refused transit visas to New Zealand and Australia because the supporting paperwork or the evidence provided is not strong enough to mitigate the concerns of the immigration officer who is handling the application. So we will touch this subject today and see some critical factors that are essential for the success of even a transit visa application. So let us get an idea of what a transit visa is actually. And when it comes to transit visas, you must remember at all times that the purpose of issuing or granting a transit visa to a person is to allow you to pass through New Zealand en route to another destination. It has got nothing to do with entering New Zealand at all. You must bear this in mind. So that is point number one. And more importantly, let's say if you are granted a transit visa and you arrive in or rather at a New Zealand airport with a New Zealand transit visa, you must always remain airside. Now when I say airside, it simply means that you should only remain on board the aircraft in which you came, or you should remain in an area which is controlled by the immigration department on the airport. So you should make sure you remain in that confined area only and not step out of it. And if there is some situation, you may be in the custody of the police. So wherever you are in the custody of the police, you would still be your status would still be as a transit visa holder, or depending on what your situation is really. So this is something very important for you to remember. Otherwise it is quite obvious that if you breach the conditions of your transit visa, you will become unlawful in New Zealand. And then there are various other implications, and there could be n number of scenarios there. We will not get into the details of those different scenarios. And you must also remember, unless a person is a New Zealand citizen or a resident visa holder or a permanent resident visa holder or a temporary visa holder, or from a transit visa waiver country. Now this is again a long list of countries which are the nationals from this country are not required to apply for a transit visa, while transiting from New Zealand. So unless you are one of these persons or a person who is exempt from applying for a transit visa, and again there are various scenarios around this. So if you are one of these persons, then and then only you are not required to apply for a transit visa while traveling via New Zealand. So please bear that in mind. Okay, now looking at, so all other nationals obviously who do not or who are not such individuals will have to apply for a transit visa before boarding a flight that transits via New Zealand. Please bear that in mind. Right, so that is there, and some other points that I would like to mention here is that transit visas may be granted to applicants who will not be in New Zealand for more than 24 hours. So that is another thing that you must bear in mind, that a transit visa is not something for you to hang around at one of the international airports for a few days if you like. I mean, it has to be, you must make it pretty clear that it is just that transit period of, it could be a couple of hours or 4, 5, 6, sometimes it could be 8, 10 hours between two connecting flights. So it just covers, and the maximum period you can hang around in the immigration controlled area at an international airport in New Zealand is maximum 24 hours. So please bear that in mind. Another point that I would like to mention here is that holders of transit visas are not entitled to apply for an entry permission or any class or any type of visa while in New Zealand during their transit period. So please remember that if somebody thinks that they will arrive here on a transit visa and then apply for another visa, no, that is not possible. And each principal applicant must lodge a separate transit visa application. Now, unless the principal applicant has a partner and children, then they can be included in the same application. But remember, when I say children, the children have to be less than 20 years old. And otherwise they will have to make a separate application in their own right. Also, you must remember that the decision to grant or refuse a transit visa is totally at the discretion of the Minister of Immigration or the concerned immigration officer who is handling your application at that point of time. And irrespective of what nationality you hold or where you come from, there is no appeal right against a decision that has been made by the Minister of Immigration or the concerned immigration officer if your transit visa is refused. So as simple as that. I mean, if your transit visa gets refused, you simply have to make another application for a transit visa. So please remember that. You can only apply for a transit visa on a paper-based application since the online portal is still being developed. Now, the most crucial part of a transit visa application for New Zealand is again the supporting documentation that you will have to provide along with your application. So what we normally do is, depending on whether you are an individual traveler or a family that is transiting via New Zealand, or a group of travelers, depending on the type of traveler you are, we will provide you with a customized checklist of documents. This is again an exhaustive list of documents that will be required to compile your transit visa application. And you will, if at all we represent you, you will have to arrange all such documentation, either email it to us or courier it to us, and we will then compile your complete application. And depending on which part of the world you are based, you will then have to lodge your transit visa application at the nearest New Zealand visa application center. We will advise you the details of the process of how to lodge the application, where to lodge the application, what fees are to be paid to the visa application center, what fees are to be paid to Immigration New Zealand, what fees are to be paid to us. So all these factors we will explain you if at all you want to apply for a transit visa through us. Please do get in touch, and we will let you know on the modus operandi of that. Okay, so please remember that in this video I have just touched on the subject of transit visa. There are a whole lot of various other conditions that one may have to fulfill under different scenarios, So I don't want to just get into the details of all that and drag this video for 1 hour. So I just want to keep this short and sweet, just to give you an idea of what a transit visa is. And if you want to apply for a transit visa, if you need any help, do get in touch with us, and we will do a preliminary assessment to see what is the best course of action for you. And that is why I always say that due to the tricky and complex nature of various visa applications, we always highly recommend our viewers and prospective visa applicants to avail professional help from a licensed immigration advisor at all times. At G.E.M.S International, we not only provide you with professional help but expert advice, and you can reach us round the clock on the contact number provided in the comment section of this video, and we will be glad to assist you. So thank you once again for taking the time to watch our video. I hope you have found this video interesting and useful. If you have liked this video, please do click the like button, subscribe to our channel, push the bell icon so you can get regular updates on various immigration related issues and how to apply for different visas. Thank you once again. Stay safe, take care, goodbye.